Now this is one that we've developed, a new one that'll come out in the 3rd edition. This one starts out with our stoplights. Now if you think back to when you went through MANT, they talked about win-win situation, win-lose situations. Remember that on the quizzes? These tie back into those. So red obviously are bad. Yellow's neutral because it can be used for good or bad, and green is the goal. Accommodating, if I am accommodating, that means you win and I lose. It means you're more important than me, your thoughts are more important than me, your feelings are more important to me. I'm avoiding conflict, so I give in to whatever you want. But that also means that on this back end, I'm stuffing it down. And what happens when we stuff down our emotions? They fester. And then they pop. They blow like a volcano. When we stuff things down, having a passive communication style is one of the #1 indicators for domestic violence, because people hold it in so long until they explode and they do something that they regret. So we don't want to be passive. We don't want to get in this you win, I lose. Now competing is the opposite of that. That means I have to win and you have to lose, because if you win, I'm less as a person. My self-esteem is damaged. Okay? So, but that means I'm always competing with you. I'm always comparing. I'm always measuring tit for tat. It's got to be equal. Everything's got to be equal, or I got to be more. Because that's where my self-worth is. Very destructive in relationships. Avoiding is in yellow. Now the first thing I'm going to tell you is that if you've ever experienced anxiety, I want you to ask yourself, what am I avoiding? Okay? It's almost going to be connected to it every time. But avoiding is yellow because there might be times that, let's say, me and Paige got in an argument and I'm still mad at her the next day, but now I'm avoiding her. Now if she's my staff and we work, 3 out of 5 days a week, that means that it takes a lot of energy for me to know where Paige is all the time so that I can avoid her, right? The other thing that comes into play is, let's say an individual had a situation that they went into restraints. And now you come back the next day, and it was a bad behavior last night, but now nobody wants to talk about it. Does it make it go away? Nope. When we avoid something, it's like picking up a backpack. We carry this backpack of emotional situations, and we pick up rocks and we stuff them in the backpack when we avoid it. I'm going to save that for later. But then when a conflict happens, we reach into that backpack and we grab those rocks and we go, take this, and take this, and take this. And it comes out in the form of, 6 months ago you did this, and 2 years ago you did this, and then 5 years ago you did this. And it's because we've been carrying around all this weight in our backpack, because we've avoided the conflict to sit down and work through it. Conflict is not bad. In fact, relationships that have conflict are stronger than relationships that don't. It all depends on how you resolve the conflict. If you avoid it, you cannot resolve it. You might need to take time out. You might need to step back for a minute and say, you know what, Jared hurt my feelings really bad yesterday. I don't want to say something dumb. I don't want to end up in HR because I said something I wasn't supposed to say. So I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to think about what I want to say. But then tomorrow, when I see him again, I'm going to say, hey, Jared, can we talk? Yesterday when this happened, it really hurt my feelings. And I'm going to go towards the conflict. Okay? Compromise maintains a relationship. This is where we're both making exceptions. We both have ideas. They may be a little bit different, but we find something that it ends up and it maintains the relationship. And a true collaboration is a win-win situation. That's ultimately what we're looking for. Now, you're going to notice on these ones, and you'll notice on some others, that you pull them out and they have Velcro on them and you can interact with them. So you'd pull these things out, pull off the Velcro, and then you'd use it and have the individuals match where things go. And then talk about different situations. I like to use, when I do this, I like to use situations that have happened within the last week. when I sit down with somebody and say, okay, how's your week been? What's good? What's bad? What's going on? And this is how I do this. Too many times when people try to do this, when they try to do the exact same scenario over and over and over again, that gets boring. So look at what they're going through. Again, we can't change what happened in the past, but we might be able to influence what happens presently. Okay?